Hi guys, I'm Charlie Book Fanatic, and today I'm in my onesie. So yeah, today I'm going to do two book reviews. I'm going to upload them separately because I have quite a lot to say about both of these books, and I can't do that in one video because it will be the longest video in the entire universe. So yeah, I'm going to do two separate book reviews, and the first one I'm going to talk about today is Chosen Soldiers by R.H. Scott. This book is military science fiction, and it's about a girl called Sloane Radcliffe, and she is in this academy where she is trained to be a soldier to fight in the war that is going on outside of the academy. So children are being taken to this academy to get trained to be these warriors. Sloane is one of these warriors, and she is one of the best there actually is in the academy, along with her boyfriend called Jared, who is the best male warrior they have in the academy. Sloane is a lieutenant, and she has to train these pupils that are under her command along with her boyfriend Jared. But the thing is that nobody much likes Sloane because she is quite tough on these people, but she just wants them to be the best they can be and to survive outside in the world. I thought the plot was really well explained with info and info given through the characters. Like, they talk to each other, and Sloane thinks a lot, obviously, and it's really well explained. Like, you know what is going on, you know about the war and the academy through the characters talking to each other and Sloane's thinking, and it's not unnatural in the slightest. Every event in this book makes the plot go forward. Like, none of these events that take place in this book are unnecessary. They are all necessary to move forward this plot that is going on. The whole mystery aspect that is going on at the beginning of the book is kind of predictable to me. Like, there are two guys in this book. One is called Elijah and the other one is called Jared. Jared is Sloane's boyfriend, and Elijah is the guy that is fighting for Sloane's attention, much to Jared's dislike. But there's kind of a mystery aspect surrounding why Elijah is fighting for Sloane, because he doesn't really know her, but I thought this was kind of predictable. I like the way grief was handled in this book. Like, there was a lot of grief in this book because some people die, and it was not brushed over, it was actually dealt with, and Sloane was not like, oh, he or she died, that is sad, blah blah blah, and then move on. No, she was thinking constantly of these people throughout the book, and that's really realistic. That is the way that people deal with grief. They think about these people at some point in their lives, and they think like, I miss them so much, I wish they were here for this moment. And that is what Sloane thinks and says throughout the book. But the beginning of the book is kind of slow paced for me. Like, the plot really starts at like the halfway point throughout the book, and that is when the pace really starts to pick up, and I really started enjoying the story. Like, the first half of the story, I wasn't sure about this book. Like, I didn't know if I actually wanted to finish it, but halfway through the book I really did not regret pushing on, and it was so good, and the pace really picked up, and the mystery picked up, and it was just really good. There was also a plot twist in this book that made you look really differently at the war, and I did not see it coming. Like, I had this viewpoint on the war, but I didn't really think about it much, and then this plot twist happened, and I was like, wow, that changes everything. This book had an open ending, and it wasn't that it was unsatisfying, not at all, it was really satisfying, but this book is set as a standalone on Goodreads, and it can't be a standalone. It's open-ended. I need a sequel for this book. Like, I enjoyed it a lot, and I just want to read more about Sloane and how the story is going to progress. Like, a lot of things happened, and for me it's kind of, some points were not resolved. Like, just a lot of things happen, and I really need to know more. I just need a sequel. It can't end like that. Sloane was a really headstrong character. She took no shit from no one, and I love it about her. I was really rooting for her throughout the book because she was just so self-assured, and she was so capable, and she knew she was capable of fighting and sticking up for herself, and that made me root for her all throughout the book. Like, she deserved that happy ending. For me, there was no chemistry between Sloane and her boyfriend Jared. It was more like creepy and ingrained in their brains that they had to be together, because there's a ceremony in this academy, like the leaders of the academy have this ceremony where they pick the best two people, and they are the best matches for each other. And Jared and Sloane were paired off together because they are obviously the best warriors in the academy, and they are this power couple together. But I have to say, they were also in love before this happened. But I felt like it was more ingrained in their brains, like it was indoctrinated, like they needed to be together, they were matched together, so they were the perfect couple, and they should forever stick together and love each other, and we love each other so much, and we can't breathe without each other, and I would die without you, and I'm not for that kind of love. And I felt like it was really forced, and it just didn't feel true to me. Jared has some serious issues. Like, he intimidates Sloane, and he is slut-shaming her. Like, I think he called her a slut or a whore, one of those two things, in the book. And that is serious emotional abuse. Like, you can't do that to your girlfriend or to anyone on that aspect. Like, oh my god, why would you call your girlfriend a whore or a slut? And intimidate her and just, I don't know, touch her in an abusive way. Like, stop doing that. That is not okay. I lost all sympathy for him when he started doing that. Both Elijah and Jared treat Sloane like she's property, and that is not okay with me. You can't treat a girl, a woman, a guy, a boy, like he or she is property. They are not. They are their own person. They decide what they are going to do for themselves. Nobody can choose their path. Sloane was not their property. Sloane was Jared's girlfriend, but she was not his property. He can't make decisions for her. She can make decisions for herself. And Elijah was the same as Jared. He treated her like property, and they were fighting for her, and she didn't have any say with who she wanted to be with. All of the characters in this book are morally grey. They have all done things that could be viewed as wrong, but they have all did things that could be viewed as right. There is no good and evil in this book, exactly with the main characters. Like, you can view them in your own way. Like, you can think Sloane is a shitty bitch, or you can think she's like this really strong, capable, independent woman, like I thought she was. But they all do some things that are really, really wrong, but it didn't really change my view on Sloane as a person. Even though I really don't like treating people as property, I shipped Elijah and Sloane more as the book progressed, because Elijah was a totally different person to Jared, and he cared more about Sloane than I felt like Jared did, or in a less creepy way at least. But yeah, I started shipping them. But there is actually not really a question about which boy Sloane really loves. Like, she has decided for herself who she actually loves and who she actually wants to be with for the most part of the book. Beginning of the book, you're like thrown into this world, but you get slowly introduced to all the aspects of it. You're like immediately into this world, and you want to know more about it, but it's not confusing, and you get to know a lot about this world as the book progresses. The history behind the war and the academy makes so much sense. Like, it was really well done, it was really well executed, and it was well thought out, and I didn't have any critique about that. I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. The book is written from a third-person perspective following Sloane, and I really like that. I really like seeing Sloane's thought processes, because you get those, obviously, because the book is following Sloane. And I really liked her as a person, and I I didn't mind her. I liked her as a main character, so I didn't mind the writing perspective. The writing style was really descriptive. Like, all of these characters get an appearance. You actually can imagine what they look like because they get described. And I miss that a lot in some books. Like, characters don't really get described anymore. They get a personality and they get like, oh, he or she is so handsome, but not really a description of what the hair looks like or what their face looks like or what clothes they're even wearing. I felt like the action scenes were written really well and it made you want to read on, and you were sitting at the edge of your seat in suspense, like, what is going to happen in this action scene? Like, how is this going to turn out? There was a constant sentence repeating of, they don't know what it's like to be us. Like, you're so different from us. Like, Spillane and Jared were thinking that and saying that constantly. Like, Spillane was constantly thinking, they don't know what it's like to be us. We're above all of these people. We're warriors and we are the best in the academy, and it's so hard to have all of these peoples under our command and having to be tough on them, and it's so hard for us. And I was like, yeah, I get it now. You can stop saying that. I felt like the author was trying to make Jared seem like the perfect guy, but I just thought he was an asshole. Like, his abusive behavior is kind of, I don't know, brushed over. Like, it's not that bad. He's still this amazing guy, and I felt like the author was trying to do that. But obviously I don't agree with that. I really, really dislike Jared. Having said that, I really felt like the part where the characters have to take lives was not brushed over. Like, the first time that Spillane actually kills a human being was not brushed over. Like, it was really dealt with and really explained well, and Spillane thought about it and had nightmares about it. She couldn't stop thinking about it, and that was really realistic to me. Like, someone doesn't just kill someone and doesn't think about it anymore. I noticed at one point in the book that the last names from Jared and Elijah was switched. Like, at one point I think Elijah was called Dawson, and that is Jared's last name, and Elijah's last name is Daniels. So I was like kind of confused and I had to reread it, but it was just a mistake on the part of the author, and it's not really a criticism or anything, but I just wanted to mention that, like, it was confusing to me. This book made me think so much of the Match trilogy because of a plot point in it. Not like a writing style or anything, but just a plot point in it. And that made me so happy because I really loved the Match trilogy when I was younger, and I don't know if I would like it now as much as I did back then, but I really loved it back then. I have fond memories of that, and that made me really happy that this book reminded me so much of that, especially with the ceremony with the matches made. Like, that was in the Match trilogy as well. Overall, I thought this book had a good plot that moved forward really well. I had some problems with the characters, especially the guy characters in this book, but I really liked the main character, which was Spillane, and I liked the writing style, and but I had some problems with the author trying to convey her message. Also, the world building was really good, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars because of that, but I do really want a sequel. Alright, Scott. This is my review for Chosen Soldiers. Also watch my review for Stars Milk to Milk. I will link it down below for you to check out. And have you read this book? Do you want to read this book? What did you think about this book? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!